Nicole Bush, Senior Director of Alumni Career and Professional Development. And with me behind the scenes today, Sarah McAllister, who will be helping with any tech issues that you have and any other questions that you might have. She'll share the link on where to find the recording of this later. She'll be here to help us with as we go through the series. Just want to make sure you all know that this is being recorded. And like I said, it will be available later. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, and I can't see them, but Sarah will help us to get those answered as we go through. So please feel free to do that. Also, please just, we always like to see where you're coming from. So as you're joining the room, if you don't mind adding in the chat kind of where you're coming from, if you want to include what you're doing now, you can do that. Or when you graduated, you can do that as well, just so we can know who's here. But really appreciate you all joining. Thank you so much for coming. All right, so there we go. All right, so I'm going to just introduce myself a little bit to you. I've been here at Tulane for over 18 years. I've got lots of experience in career services, including 9 years at the A.B. Freeman School of Business Career Management Center. While I was with the business school, I also developed the original career development curriculum for our undergraduates. I'm from New Orleans, born and raised. I left for a little while, but came back, of course, as we do. I did graduate from Tulane a while back. So I'm here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. And fun fact is that I did work for the Walt Disney World. This is when I was not in New Orleans. I worked for the Walt Disney World resort in Orlando, Florida. And you can see my roles that I had there. That was a really great experience. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, please add something in the chat about yourself, where you're from, when you graduated. We'd love to hear it. So thank you. Our overview today, we're going to talk a little bit about career planning, how the assessments that we have, what they are and how they can help you. And then we definitely want to answer your questions. So let's get started with Career Planning 101. We're just going to start with the basics now, because if you're here, it's possible that you are thinking about making a change and how these assessments can help. You know, a lot of people have been reassessing where they are, what they're doing because of the pandemic, whether it's forced assessment or just kind of having the opportunity to do that. And we are here to help you with these things, whether you're in a current active job search or not. But if you're thinking about this, a great way to structure your approach is thinking about it in 3 stages. So the first thing we want to talk about is where are you now, and then where do you want to go, and how are you going to get there? It's like any other plan that you're going to make, like where am I going, and how am I going to get there? But for your career, it breaks down to what you see here. So when you think about where are you now, and this is, let me just say that this is a part that people don't do enough, especially if you are recently laid off, or your job was changed or eliminated or something. People get so anxious to just move on to the next thing and look for job, just like, I just got to go find what's available. I just got to go find a job. If you can, I really encourage you to take a moment to stop and think about what you really want, so that the next move that you make can be one that lasts a long time, that will be a good fit for you, where you can enjoy some career success. So that where are you now piece is really important, and it's time well spent. I promise you that. You want to think about what has been working for you and what's not working for you where you are. You know, there are a lot of times we're in jobs that we're good at doing, and we enjoy some parts of it more than other parts. But there also are times when we're so good at doing something that we wind up doing it a lot, but it's not our favorite thing to do. So think about that. Like, you're really good at doing this, so people always come to you for it, but maybe it's not your favorite thing to do. So think about that, and whether or not you want that, or how much of that you want in your next role. You know, what works, what doesn't work. And then you also have to think about your personal life, of course. So what kind of schedule or situation works for you? You know, do you want to work remotely? Do you want a hybrid schedule? Do you want to be in person? Are you a 9-to-5 type person, or do you kind of like nights and weekends because maybe you like to sleep in, or whatever, you know, or whatever your situation, your living situation is, what works for that? You know, do you need flexibility? You know, what kind of environment do you want to be in? Do you want to be in something that's formal and traditional, or are you more interested in something that would be just kind of more casual and you can show up to work in jeans and a t-shirt every day or something? So really just take a moment to think about that, because while we focus so much, I mean, the actual work you're doing on a daily basis is of course important and part of what you're thinking about, but you also really want to pay attention to the environment that you're doing it in. And there are some things that IT comes to mind for me. You can do IT in a lot of different environments. I mean, it's everywhere, right? So do you want to do it in what kind of environment works best for you? What kind of work situation, schedule situation works best for you? And really think about that, because that can help you find something that is a good fit for you, that can be a long-term employment going forward. And so that goes into where do you want to go? So you're thinking about that. These assessments can really help you to think about that. If you're kind of just not satisfied at all, you're like, this isn't working for me. I'm not really sure why, but it doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I'm using my skills, or I don't really, maybe you don't get along with the people you work with, or it's just not working for your lifestyle for whatever reason. Then these can help you figure those things out. It kind of goes stage 1 and stage 2 together, because you're thinking about where are you now and where do you want to go. This can help determine your next steps, because maybe you really don't know where you want to go. You just know that you don't want to be where you are. And that's okay. That does happen to a lot of people a lot of the time. So don't freak out about that. It's okay. but let's work on it. You have to, these assessments can help you to determine where you want to go by thinking about skills, your skill level in different things, because maybe there's some part of your job that you really enjoy a lot, that you wish you could do more of, but you really need a little more training in it, or you really need to know about a certain technology, or there's something that's missing that is a reason that you're not doing it, but you really love it and want to do more of that in your next role. So then you can think about that. And well, am I willing to take on some additional training or do some kind of course to gain that skill so that it does become a part of what I'm doing in the future and going forward? And then you also have to think about what's going on in the job market. And this is kind of the last part of the assessment. So we'll talk about this a little bit more as we go through what they are, but you have to assess your job market. If you're in New Orleans, we have one Fortune 500 company here. If you're looking for a big company with those types of things, unless it's in hospitality, because, we definitely have a lot of large global hospitality companies here. We also have a lot of small startup companies. We have regional companies. And so you have to really think about where you fit in there. What does the New Orleans market look like? I'm saying New Orleans, but wherever you are, think about it. What are some hot career fields in your area? Which companies are there? Who's hiring? Who's been maybe on a freeze? We all hear about hiring freezes. So that has to go into it too, because we have to look at the whole picture and think about, what are you looking for? Where do you want to do it? And what are the opportunities to enter that field, or to do that type of work? Stage 3 is how are you going to get there? We're not going to get in. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other job search topic. And we can do another webinar on that one. For right now, we're going to focus on the first 2 stages of career planning, of where you are and where you're going to go, what's next for you. And I'll pause for a second. I can't see the chat. Do we have any questions?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so just let's get a baseline of what is a career assessment. You can see the description on the screen. You've probably taken these high school, college. A lot of times MBTI is given through those, Myers-Briggs. Sometimes you may have taken the strong interest inventory or heard about it. There's things like Strengths Finder. There are a lot of different career assessments out there. And what they do is you answer a number of questions, and then they'll give you feedback based on what that specific assessment is about. And the overall goal is that they will give you a recommendation about which careers you might be well suited for, or that your results indicate that you are well suited for. As we say on here, it can guide you thinking about your skills, abilities, likes and dislikes. Sometimes there are things that we really like that are have not they're not a part of our lives as right now as much as we would like them to be. So sometimes when you take an assessment, it can help remind you of that, of something that you really enjoy doing. It will certainly validate your strengths and interests, and offer you and identify opportunities for growth. What I want to say here too is that, it gives you a lot of ideas about where you might want to go next, what would be a good fit for you. It is not going to be just the answer to all your problems. You can't look at a career assessment, get the result and say, it says I should be a career coach, so tomorrow I'm going to go be a career coach. That's not the idea behind these. This is a tool for you to use to make those decisions on your own. It'll give you a lot of recommendations. It will give you reasons for why those recommendations are there, descriptions of that. So it gives you a lot of information, food for thought. It will tell you some things that are not a surprise for you. It, like I say, validates your strengths. You're like, yeah, I know, everything I've ever taken has told me that, I have good interpersonal skills or communication skills. I know that. So some of it is not going to be new news to you. But there are other parts of it that maybe you've forgotten about them, or maybe it's kind of a hidden talent that you have that you once did, or maybe you haven't done it since you were a kid, but then it comes out in a career assessment. You're like, I actually was good at math and like math and managing data or something, or statistics or something like that maybe just isn't a part of your life right now. And so it's kind of gone dormant, so to speak, but it can remind you of that. So that's another good use for a career assessment and how it can help you. And then it helps you to figure out how your personality traits factor into your career satisfaction and success. And I just want to also take a moment for this because, so often people think about what they want to do task wise, which is definitely important. What are you going to be actually doing every day? But you can't underestimate the importance of where you are doing it and within what industry, within what company, within what industry. And so that's when we talk about, one of the ones we'll talk about on here, but your preferences really do make a difference. Let's take IT, for instance, if you're troubleshooting IT problems, you can do that in any one of the environments, right? So you can do that in, so which one of those fits for you and in what industry? If you're really into sports, for instance, then perhaps doing IT in a hospital is just going to be not rewarding to you at all because you don't care about medicine. You're not interested in medicine. So you're just kind of showing up to work, doing your IT stuff and going home. Whereas if you're really interested in real estate, but you don't want to be a real estate agent, but you can work IT, real estate, you can somehow, the systems they use and you're using the systems and it just becomes more interesting to you because you actually care about real estate and you're into real estate. Whatever it is that you spend your free time investigating, reading about, learning more about, what those interests are, help you to figure out which industry is a good fit for you. And then where would you like to do that? Accounting is another example that comes to mind. Accounting is the basis of all business. Every business needs help with accounting, or they need accountants. They all have books, right? So what business would you like to do that in? Maybe you want to do it in a corporate situation, but maybe you just want to work for an accounting firm that has a lot of different clients. Which one is a better fit for you? So it says really a lot about fit and taking your skills and abilities, combining them with your personality, your preferences, and trying to find how they come together for you. And so thinking about that, and then in terms of industry as well. Okay, so one of the resources we offer is the Myers-Briggs personality type. You can see a description on here, and I'm going to ask Sarah, who's going to come in and fill us in on the MBTI.
Yeah, thanks. So as Nicole was talking, she already really touched on a lot of the points that the Myers-Briggs assessment offers. One of the things that I'll just touch briefly about is, so it's kind of two main takeaways for this particular assessment is one, there is a cost associated with it. So if you're interested in it, you have to send us an email. Nicole's going to provide the email at the end. So if this is something that you're interested in, great. Love to support you. Just want to let you know that it's not readily available on our website. So just send us an email. And then the other thing is once you complete it, you just have to let us know and then we can send you the reports. The great thing about the MBTI, particularly the one that we use, is it provides you two different reports. One of them is called the Personal Impact Report, and it's an in-depth, it's around 28 pages of really going into detail of all the different ways that your personality type shows up, for both positive and maybe some challenges. And then in the challenge department, the report also offers some really helpful solutions on how to navigate that. The other nice thing about the Personal Impact Report is it also walks you through in the first couple of pages of understanding what the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator is. It gives you a little bit of a history. So if you're somebody who really likes to understand how these assessments work, how they're determined, and also why it's important, that's the one thing that there's a lot of education. It's a great educational tool. And then the other report is called a career report. And so it takes your indicator type and it tells you what are the different, to Nicole's point, right? Like, what are the different environments? What are the different types of job tasks work really well for this type? And what are some potential challenges? It talks about, how you work best in teams, how you like to be managed, how you are as a manager, how do you solve problems? And then it also at the end provides a job families list where I think it's like 1 to 100 different job families or industries, types of jobs that work best for that type. And so again, to Nicole's point, it doesn't always mean that it's exactly, it explains and describes you to a T, and it is a really great resource. One of the things that I like to walk alums through when they take this particular assessment is both the Personal Impact Report and the Career Report provide some really great descriptions that can be used both in a cover letter and an interview, right? So if you're someone like most of us who are not great at describing ourselves in a strength-based way, these reports kind of give you some of those examples that you don't have to just figure out on your own. So if you want more, again, Nicole's going to provide an email at the end, so feel free to reach out.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. The other assessment we offer is the Strong Interest Inventory, and let me just say both of these have been around for 80 and 90 years, and so they're well researched and very popular and used in a lot of areas. But so the second one is the Strong Interest Inventory, and the big thing, so this takes the answers, again, you answer all the questions. It will take your responses and compare them to people who are happy and successful in a wide variety of career fields. And then it will give you a report that tells you how much how well your answers correspond with theirs, everywhere from a very low match to a very high match. So it really takes into account not only your skills and abilities, but your likes and dislikes. So we can think about culture, because a lot of, like, as I was saying before, a lot of job happiness and satisfaction comes from the environment that we're in. And so what kind of environments are going to be good for you? And so people who are like you, who are doing happy and well in these different fields, you are likely to do the same. And so you'll get an electronic report that you could click on. And the biggest thing is that they'll give you click here buttons, and each time you do it, you find out more. So it'll be like, if it says you're a very high match for something, you can click here and it will tell you why you're a high match, or same if you're a very low match. And so it has a scale that it will report the recommendations to for you. They break them down, as you can see. They use 6 career themes in that, and you can see them on the scheme: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, conventional. And a lot of times there's crossover here. So maybe you're really high in artistic and enterprising, and that your results may come back that you would have a match for someone who has your own art distribution, your own art gallery, perhaps, or something like that. So it'll give you those, and it'll tell you why it's a good fit. It'll give you the recommendations and then why. And then the other thing that I just want to stress at the end of the strong interest inventory is that it will also provide you links to some helpful government resources that will give you an idea. So and you can use this for both of these, because actually they're partnered together, MyersBriggs and Strong. And so as you get all this information about what might be a good career field for you, this will tell you why, based on your personality, skills, likes, all those types of things. But then we also have to think about the next part of this. How much money am I going to make? We work to make money. So let's just talk about that. What has the best opportunity for career growth? And Strong will offer you links to those government tools that will tell you these are, based on data across the nation, these are the top 10 career fields we expect to be growing, and how much they're expected to grow in the next 10 years, for instance, and how much do they pay? So you can get some information about not just what do I want to do right now, but what do I want to do long term? How much money do I make? I might, maybe working in a certain field is something I would really enjoy, but maybe I'm not going to make the kind of money that I need to make for the type of lifestyle I would like to live. So those are personal choices you have to make, but it's good to have that information as well. So you're focusing your efforts in the right place. Does anyone, before, those are our two assessments. Does anyone have questions about our assessments before we move into the vault?
No questions yet.
No questions yet. Okay, you can come up with them later. So this also helps you. So I was mentioning the government resources that an ONET, and I've drawn a blank on the other one. But we also offer you a resource that will help you to explore some of the recommendations that may come out of MBTI or Strong. Or if you take them both, you can put them together. But the Vault Online Guides are much like the Strong Interest Inventory. The Vault Online Guides survey people who are working in different industries to find out what it's like to work in that industry. Like, what is a day in the life? We know a little about a lot of different different industries, but it really takes someone who's working in that industry or for a specific company to let you know what it's like day to day, because it's not always what we think it is. Sometimes there are parts to jobs that people don't talk about because maybe they're not the most exciting part of the job, but they're certainly important and something you'd want to know about it if you were pursuing work in that area. So the Vault Guides, they're published and they have books you can buy if you like a hard copy of something, but Tulane has a subscription to the Vault Online Guides, so you can access all of this information for free, and you can download it too if you would like to do that. But there are guides on industries, what makes someone successful in a certain industry. And there are some specific company guides so that you can look up some of the, they might have a list of the top 10 consulting firms, and then they'll give you a lot of information about each firm, which is helpful not only when you're making a decision about what's the next move for you, but also if you have some interviews coming up and you want to prepare, this is some good kind of insider information for you. There's a job board on there. So you can use that to search for jobs, of course. Excuse me. And then the Vault Guides are just some more career-related guides around job search tips, interview strategies, things like that. So there are a lot of resources on that. I have found most people, because students use this too, but where people find the real value is learning about the industries and the companies and what does make someone happy and successful there. I mean, because that's just the best way for you to know and to do some career research on your own. So before I move to our next slide, we're here to help you with a lot of these things too. Sarah's certified in interpreting MBTI, so she's a great person, can go through all of the results with you. As she said, it's a long report, but she's here to help you with that. I can help you with the Strong Interest Inventory, which is where my certification is. And we've both had a lot of experience working with these. So you get the reports on your own, and you are welcome to do whatever you would like with that, but also we're here to help you interpret them if you would like that help. And we also have a network of career coaches that are on hand to help you interpret those as well. And that is that's where we're going to end today. Like I said, we could go into stage 3 of how you're going to get there, but that's a whole other topic. So, so I just want to say thank you again so much for joining us. You can learn about all of these resources and more by visiting our website, alumni.tulane.edu/careers. If you'd like to contact us directly, if you want to request, for instance, the MBTI or any more information about these, alumnicareers@tulane.edu is our email address. And then you see our office phone number on there. And I just want to thank you all so much for coming and encourage you to take this time to really think about what you want to do next and what will be a good fit for you long term, because we're here to help you find career happiness and success. So let us know how we can do that. And we hope to see you on another webinar. We'll go ahead and put those links in. Sarah has the link for the YouTube recording.
Yeah, I'll put it back up.
Yep. And does anyone else have any questions?
Nicole, I wanted to just have you address one quick thing that you talked about earlier. For someone who is interested in finding a new job, but quickly, how can they, is there a strategy where they can be thoughtful using some of these assessments, but knowing that it's pretty quick turnaround?
You can sometimes employ or work with staffing agencies that are specific to certain industries. You know, like I know there are some locally specific for law or hospitality and tourism, or there's some for accounting and finance. So you can find a staffing agency that works specializes in a certain industry, and they can sometimes help you with temp work in the meantime, you know, while you're looking for something more permanent. And sometimes temp jobs become permanent jobs too, so let's not forget about that. But that can be something that can be more immediate. And I would also just suggest sometimes, you know, if you kind of need something to fill in the meantime, try to at least make it try to do something in the industry or related to the industry that you're interested in, because then that will help you long term. It will help you to make more contacts in the industry to help you get a full-time, longer term position later too. So there are a couple of things there.
And I just want to share with everyone, there was a great question on how to access the strong interest inventory. So you can access that directly on our website, which is listed on the slide. And then if you're interested in the Myers-Briggs, just email us at alumnicareers@tulane.edu and I'll send you the link.
All right. I don't think we have any other questions. So I don't know if I'm missing them.
Yeah, I think that's it for right now.
Okay, that covered it. Again, thanks so much for coming. We'll have another, hope to see you online for another one of our professional development series webinars, and contact us anytime. We're here to help you. Thank you so much and have a great day.